Act 1, the cosmic bar fight, Marcus versus Epicurus. Imagine a dim, slightly smoky bar at the edge of the universe. Sitting at the counter, you've got Marcus Aurelius, clad in full Roman armor, looking like he hasn't slept since 180 AD, and next to him is Epicurus, wearing a silk robe, swirling a glass of expensive wine, and looking incredibly relaxed. Marcus takes a sip of his tap water, sighs deeply, and says, "Look at these people, Epicurus. Chasing after dopamine, getting drunk, crying over heartbreaks. They don't realize that everything around them is a burning house. The only true path is to master the mind, accept your fate, and endure the storm with absolute virtue." Epicurus chuckles, takes a bite of a grape, and replies, "My imperial friend, you are working way too hard. The universe is literally just a bunch of random atoms bumping into each other in a void. There is no grand cosmic plan. When we die, the lights just go out. So why are you sitting there starving yourself and staring at the wall? The ultimate good is pleasure, man. Peace of mind means avoiding pain. And honestly, this wine is doing a much better job than your meditations." Marcus slams his fist on the table, making the glasses rattle. Pleasure is a trap. It's a fleeting shadow. If you become a slave to your desires, you are trapped on a wheel of constant chasing. "Ah, but that's where you misunderstand me," Epicurus says, raising an eyebrow. "I'm not talking about an endless wild party. If I drink the whole bottle tonight, I get a massive headache tomorrow, which is pain. To maximize my pleasure over a lifetime, I actually need an insane amount of your favorite thing, self-control. I have to abstain today so I can enjoy tomorrow. See, we are fighting over the thermostat, but we both just want the room to be comfortable." Act 2, the modern matrix, dopamine versus the treadmill. Now, let's fast forward the tape to the year 2026 and look at this through the lens of modern psychology, because science has finally caught up to what these old guys were arguing about. Today, we call the hedonistic trap the hedonic treadmill. It's the psychological phenomenon where you buy the new iPhone, you get a massive spike of happiness, but 2 weeks later, your brain adapts, that high becomes your new normal, and you are immediately running after the next upgrade. The hedonist wants to stay on the treadmill forever, sprinting blindly after the next hit. This is exactly where the modern trend of dopamine fasting comes in, which is just ancient Stoicism wearing a Silicon Valley tech vest. When you go on a dopamine detox, cutting out social media, sugar, and video games, you are actively choosing a stoic state of voluntary suffering. But why are you doing it? You aren't doing it to become a monk forever. You are doing it to reset your brain's receptors so that when you finally eat a simple piece of fruit or read a book, it feels absolutely incredible. The deep, mind-bending twist of this entire philosophical puzzle is that the Stoic and the hedonist are actually just the two sides of the exact same coin. They both operate under a strictly deterministic universe, a world where you cannot control the external chaos. You can only control your reaction to it. Inside every radical hedonist, the cold shadow of Stoic discipline is lurking, because you cannot sustain pleasure without boundaries. And inside every stone-faced Stoic, the hidden spark of hedonism is alive, because the ultimate goal of mastering your mind is to achieve ataraxia, a state of profound, undisturbed inner peace, which is the purest, most beautiful form of pleasure a human being can experience. They are yin and yang, completely inseparable, dancing in the dark. Act 3. The blueprint for your life, the inner alchemy. So, how do you take this cosmic dance out of the textbooks and actually use it to stop throwing existential tantrums in your daily life? The secret isn't picking a team. It's not about choosing to be a hardcore Stoic or a wild hedonist. It's about becoming the alchemist who knows when to melt the iron and when to pour the wine. It starts with a brutally honest, deeply compassionate inventory of who you are. Think about your weaknesses. Maybe you are a bit of a lazy slacker who loves comfort too much, or maybe you are a hyper-stressed control freak who forgets to breathe. That is your inner determinism s midjourney, your hardwired biology and programming. Instead of beating yourself up, look at those flaws with a stoic smirk and say, "Okay, that is the terrain I'm working with." Acknowledging your flaws isn't defeat. It's just looking at the map before you start driving. It's admitting that you are beautifully, chaotically human. But don't stop there. Pivot instantly to your strengths. If you have the ability to feel deeply, to laugh loudly, to enjoy a magnificent cup of coffee on a rainy Tuesday morning, that is your inner hedonist shining through. Appreciate that spark. Your ability to find joy in the mundane is a superpower. When you appreciate your strengths while accepting your flaws, you stop fighting against your own nature. You realize you don't need to be perfect to be whole. The ultimate bridge that connects these two worlds is gratitude. Gratitude is the magic trick where Stoicism and Hedonism finally shake hands and fall in love. When you practice gratitude, you are being a Stoic because you acknowledge that everything you have could be taken away by the universe tomorrow. But at the exact same time, you are being a hedonist because you are intensely squeezing every ounce of joy and pleasure out of the present moment. You are looking at a single slice of pizza, a good friend, or a sunset and saying, "This might not last forever," which is why it tastes so incredibly sweet right now. By integrating both, you stop running on the treadmill and you stop hiding in the bunker. You step out into the middle of the field, accepting the storm but dancing in the puddles, fully aware that life is a beautiful, messy, deterministic ride, and you are going to enjoy every single second of it.